Alright, now I'm going to go over some test hands with this deck. I really liked using this deck during the tournament. I think it performed really well. It was really consistent. It was a deck that I think a lot of people for some reason weren't expecting, but it's still a top contender, especially with at full power having 3 miscs. And so I think that in the long run, it's a deck that can definitely compete. However, once they start hitting it with, you know, getting rid of misc and stuff, it's going to be a bit of a harder time to compete against those decks. But hopefully, we can still find ways to, you know, go up against some of those crazy strategies like Dragon Link. Alright then, so let's go with test hand number 1. Dark Ruler, Overraptor, Mystic Mine, Baby Dinosaurs. Okay, not too bad. Like I said, this deck is a going second deck, so you know they're gonna have to do their turn or whatever, and then we basically draw for our turn. Double Evolution Pill, okay. Alright, so depending on what they would have on their board, you can either start off with like a Dark Ruler or start off with like a Mystic Mine. I'm gonna go ahead and just assume that they went like full combo and just have basically just complete board control, and just I would go Dark Ruler, which doesn't allow you to OTK them this turn, but does allow you to obviously make your plays and allow you to continue to actually play the game. So what you could do here would be something like Overraptor effect. This is where you would search Misc, because then with Misc you can actually discard it to protect your Overraptor and basically all the rest of your Dinosaur plays. So then you would dump Misc, and then you would banish Misc with its effect to grab, to special summon Animadorned. Animadorned effect, pop the baby, which allows you to search for the other Double Evolution Pill. Then you can activate the Baby Dinosaurs effect, which allows you to special summon, probably just go either like Misc or like Giant Rex or something. But I think Misc for next turn is a good play, because it allows you, once you overlay, to be able to use the Misc effect next turn. So alright, this is our hand. Next you can go Animadorned, Link Summon into Link Karibo, and then Link Karibo into Secure Gardena. And then from here you have a couple different options. If they have a bunch of like back row and stuff, then you could like overlay into like Tornado Dragon, or if you're scared of like the battle phase, because Misc protects you during the main phase but not during the battle phase. So you could overlay into like Lagia if you're scared that they might have something to stop you during the battle phase. But basically you're going to double Evolution Pill from here, banish the Animadorn Archosaur and the Link Karibo. You don't really need Animadorn once it's in the grave, so usually it's pretty safe to banish it for the double Evolution Pill effect. And then you have Tyranno now, and then essentially what you'd probably do is you'd probably go into like something, probably like Dolka. So you could go overlay into Dolka. And then now basically you pretty much use UCT to run over whatever they have. And then that way you basically get rid of all that. You can attack a little bit for some extra damage. So, well, I guess you wouldn't do any damage because you Dark Ruler this turn. But you basically get rid of all their monsters with UCT. Now for next turn, I mean, when they want to try to, especially if you're going against combo, like they're basically fucked. Like, you would just basically, you have 2 negates with Dolka. You have the Book of Moon, which you could use to pop the Secure Gardena. Basically, whatever they try to do, you can pretty much stop. And then you could basically like double Evolution Pill next turn. You would summon, Overraptor next turn, you know, search for something, probably like Misc again, depending on like what you would draw into, Imperm. And then just keep on going from there. I mean, actually, you wouldn't even need to get Misc because you have it here, so you'd probably detach it at some point with Dolka. You could use Misc to search for something. I guess if we were to just kind of like play it out a little bit. So let's just assume that, like, I don't know, you have to like book something with UCT. Let's just say Dolka got rid of its materials. I mean, even if they like wiped your entire board, you still have a ton of resources for next turn, right? So you drew into Imperm. You could basically summon Overraptor. You could search for like Misc if you were worried about getting like hand trapped or whatever again. But let's just say that, you know, they're pretty like low on steam. I would imagine that they would be after a turn like that. If they're able to wipe out your entire board like that. So you get like someone like Giant Rex. You would use the effect of Misc. You could banish Misc and like Overraptor. get you another baby. If you wanted to get Petite Pteranodon to go into Prankertops, you could. I'm just going to use baby for simplicity. Activate effect of Oviraptor, pop baby to grab the other baby. Now baby effect activates, allows you to summon, so you go into Misc again. And then now you would double evolution pill for the other, well actually do you even have it? Yeah, so you would double evolution pill for the other, I'll probably get rid of the light monster and the giant Rex, because the light monsters, because in case they are like invoked or something, they could use like your own light monster to go into Mechaba. So you don't really want to like allow them to do that if you can help it. I mean, they're probably gonna find a way to go into it anyway, but if you can prevent it, then that's always better. So you go those two to go UCT again, and then if you absolutely had to like, so yeah, you go into UCT, and then if you absolutely had to like book their cards or whatever, you could, you know, pop the baby with the UCT to go into, oh sorry, you actually bring back Giant Rex with its effect before I forget. So then now you could like overlay into like another Dolka if you wanted to. You could use UCT to pop the baby to book their cards, then you get like another like Oviraptor or something, then you can overlay again into like Lagia, and that's, I mean, that's game. So as you see, going second, this deck still has a ton of different options. I want to show you what you can do going first, which allows you to kind of set up a board for disrupting your opponent. So right now, this is like one of those situations I was talking about where like one Extravagance can probably get you out of this, because this is like not a phenomenal hand by any means. Without the Extravagance, you're really kind of like setting in perm and then basically passing, because you have Ash and Gamma, so you probably have to Gamma them at some point and just hope that they don't basically OTK you. But anyways, so you would essentially activate Extravagance. Let's just say that, you know, they did have like an Ash or something. They probably wouldn't Ash you here. I mean, a lot of people will know not to really Ash the Extravagance, but to watch out for like Misc more so. Even if they did Ash you here, you still have Gamma to negate that, so you still have a way to unbreak yourself. So we banished these 6. We didn't hit anything important. We hit the 2 Tornado Dragons, which really kind of sucks, but and a Nightmare Phoenix, which is useful for getting you out of like weird situations, but it's not terrible. Another Imperm. Okay, that's exactly what you needed. So now, if they didn't Ash the Extravagance, then you're in a really good position, because now you dump the Misc. They really can't do anything about it on their turn. I mean, on your turn, without having, you know, without having like a Call by the Grave or whatever. If they have like a DD Crow or something, that sucks. But essentially, you dump the Misc effect. So then you search for Animadorned. Even if they were to Ash that, you still have Gamma, like I said. So even if they did go into, so let's just say that they did, you still have Driver. Unfortunately, we banished the stuff that like we would use this for. Like for example, we banished the Boros Sword and we banished the Tenyi. So that kind of sucks. And we banished the Nightmare Phoenix, so it's really kind of a bad situation there with those two, and they're probably just gonna get banished. But so then you go into Archosaur. Okay, so then now you activate Animadorn effect, pop Petite. And then that allows you to get the double evolution pill, Petite effect, get to summon Oviraptor, Oviraptor effect to search. You can go a couple different options here. I'd probably just grab like a Misc or something for next turn, in case you needed to like protect your dinos. So and then you would use Archosaur to go into Linkuriboh. Since you didn't banish both Linkuribos, that's really good. And then you go in from Linkuriboh into Secure Gardener. So then now what you could do is you could actually double evolution pill, dump the Linkuriboh and the Animadorn Archosaur again. I don't like how these games are together. Go into UCT. So like I said, we banish all those stuff that we could use this as material for, which like really kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. So I actually messed up here. Instead of grabbing Misc, you actually want to grab Giant Rex, and this is where I was talking about where Giant Rex really comes in handy for some extensions. So you grab Giant Rex instead, and instead of banishing the Archosaur, you actually banish the Giant Rex. So then now Rex comes back, and then you overlay here into Dolka. So then you have Dolka, or you can even go Lagia. I mean, you have 2 Imperms and an Ash, so I mean, if you went Lagia, that would probably be pretty solid too. And then these basically get banished at the end of the turn. And then I forgot that all this stuff is banished too. And so yeah, so now you're pretty much set up for next turn. I mean, you have an active UCT, you have double Dolka effect, you have double Imperm and a Ash, so and that's a pretty optimal first turn hand. I don't think that's gonna happen very often, but usually you can end on Dolka and UCT, which is pretty solid. Alright you guys, that's pretty much gonna cover it for the Dinosaur test hands video. I hope this helped you guys understand kind of how to play Dinosaurs a little bit. I know that obviously the deck is going to be changing a little bit once the new ban list comes out, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that they're going to hit Dinosaurs in the next ban list. However, I wouldn't be surprised if the deck mostly still plays the same, just loses a bit of consistency, and maybe a lot of deck lists are going to be adding things like maybe like a third Animadorn Archosaur, a third double evolution pill, and maybe even like another of the baby dinosaur monsters, just to make the deck a little bit more consistent, since you won't be able to search for that as easily. But like I said, I hope this was insightful for you. That's pretty much going to be it. Feel free to like and subscribe, and have a good one.